guys, I'm Vicky from Performing Arts Academy Wales. Please don't come at me. So, as you probably gathered from the title and the thumbnail of this video, these are my opinions. These are unpopular opinions when it comes to dance and theatre. But like I said, these are my personal opinions, so please don't come at me. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions on things. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, great. I'd love to hear what your unpopular opinions are, so pop them down in the comments below because I'd love to know what those are. I know that people are not going to be happy just from the first one. I don't like Mamma Mia. In fact, I'm not a fan of jukebox musicals, full stop. So, if you don't know what jukebox musicals are, it's where they take songs that are maybe from a band or something and they kind of mush them together, force them into a story and call it a musical. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. They're okay, but I'm just not a massive fan. There are some of them I want to see. I will give them the time of day, but all the ones I have seen, I'm just not a fan. I can't get my head around the idea that forcing a story onto songs that are not written for a story is a good idea. But there we go. And for me, I'm not a fan of ABBA. Sorry, I said it. Therefore, I really don't like Mamma Mia. I really don't like Mamma Mia. I don't think there's one song in Mamma Mia that I like. Sorry. Sorry, guys. And a personal apology to my senior student Jake, because I know he loves Mamma Mia, so Jake knows how I feel about it. And okay, moving on. Ballet tights over leotards look horrendous. I don't know who came up with this. I don't think ballet tights over leotards is a good look. Put your ballet tights under your leotard and wear them properly. I don't think it looks cool. I don't think it looks trendy. I just don't think it looks good. However, I think black tights, black footless tights over a leotard for a jazz or contemporary look, I think they look lovely. But ballet tights, it just doesn't work. I feel like people try and recreate it with ballet tights and it just doesn't work. Okay, I personally believe that your Instagram account or social media account, especially if it's a public account, should be monitored by your parents until you are at least 14 or 15 years old. There are some weird people on the internet that are not always easily distinguishable, and I recently had an incident where I had an account that, as far as I'm aware, had been following my account for a while, and we went and we did our weekly live class, and then they started commenting some not great stuff. So, you know, we had kids on the live, we had to block them off the live, and we blocked them off the account. But you don't know who you're adding. I genuinely believe that your account should be monitored by your parents until you're minimum 14, 15 years old. And even if you're older than that and someone adds you and you're not sure who they are, or you don't know if it's a proper dancer's account, or if something seems a bit off, you can still ask your parents' advice. You can block them. If you realise who they are later, you can always unblock them. You don't have to accept every friend request that you get. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. I genuinely believe that it is better to be safe than to have loads of followers. So yeah, I believe, particularly if your account is public, but I do think you should do it anyway, even if it's a private account. I think your account should be monitored by your parents until you are at least 14, 15 years old. I personally believe that high buns look best for ballet and low buns look better for jazz. I love a slick parting into a low bun for a lovely jazz look. I'm not convinced it works for ballet. Ballet should be a traditional high ballet bun. High buns for ballet, low buns for jazz. Again, that's my personal opinion. I can't decide whether or not I like Six, the musical. My issue with Six is that I am a bit of a history geek, and medieval times and the Tudor period is one of my favourite periods of history. So I have done a lot of personal research on it, I've watched a lot of documentaries, and I know quite a lot about that time. And my biggest issue with Six was the first time I went to go and see it, and I'm sat in the audience and they're talking about how, you know, everyone's got these stereotypes around who the queens are and this, that and the other, and that this was their chance to you know, set the record straight and correct everyone's knowledge of the history and get it right. And then they spent the whole musical feeding into those stereotypes, and a lot of the historical stuff was things that people already know. They didn't mention the things that people don't know, and it just hello, there's loads. I mean, just look at Anne Boleyn herself. There is so much history around Anne Boleyn that people don't even know, and they didn't even touch on it. And I'm just like, that was just me. I love the songs, I love the music, I like the concept. The historical side gets me. It just gets me because, you know, they said they were going to debunk all these stereotypes and they were going to correct everyone's knowledge about history, and then they didn't. Just my opinion. I'm very mixed on Six, but I would definitely pay money to go and see it again. I did enjoy it. The history side of it irritated me. That's all. Okay, my next unpopular opinion, although I think it's starting to become more of a popular opinion, is the fact that donuts, hair donuts, should never be used in dance. Ever. Never. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. You're not allowed to use them for dance exams anyway. They look awful. I can understand if someone's doing a hairstyle for something else, like a wedding or something like that. Even then I do just have a little cringe about it. But yes, I have worn hair donuts before when they were popular. I'm not denying that. But I feel like it's one of those trends that we're going to look back on in years to come and go, oh my gosh, what were we thinking? Yes, they were made popular by dance mums and they worked for a time. There was a time and a place for them briefly. Nothing beats a traditional proper bun. I just don't think there's a place for them anymore. I think they need to go. Donuts just don't. No. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Put them in the bin. We don't need them in dance. Donuts do not have a place in dance. I'll tell you what else I think doesn't have a place in dance anymore, which again is something that we needed at the time, which can now disappear because we don't need it anymore. Foot thongs. Ugh, they're horrific. As soon as half soles came along, foot thongs needed to disappear and die, in my opinion. Foot thongs worked for a time when we didn't have anything else. Yes, I used to own a pair. Yes, I have worn them. When we didn't have an alternative, they served a purpose, they achieved their purpose. Then half soles came along. They give a much nicer line. They are easier to turn in, so they do their purpose. They just look better all round. Foot thongs look awful. They never match the colour of people's skin. They make your toes look like sausages. I think foot thongs are awful. Awful. I don't like them at all. I don't like them. Okay, next unpopular opinion. Again, please don't come at me. I am not a fan of hip hop. My students know that one. I'm not a massive fan of hip hop. Obviously, my training is more based in ballet and things, and hip-hop has a place. Hip-hop done well looks insane, but it's not done that well very often. And I think that is the issue. There have been so many dance competitions where I have been sat in the audience throughout the hip-hop section, just getting a headache hearing constantly pounding. Why do they play the music so loud when it's the hip hop section? And I think my biggest issue with it is the fact that it's very, very rarely age appropriate. That is my biggest issue with hip hop as seen at local dance competitions. and I'm just not a massive fan of it from that point of view. If the dancers are over 18, good. I'm not a fan of just this culture at the moment in the dance industry that has overly sexualized dance moves, and it seems to have kind of come out of the hip hop genre. It's kind of, I just don't think it's necessary. I just don't think it's necessary. Let's just get back to dance. Hip hop done well, I love. Diversity are insane. I could watch them all day, but yeah, if I had a choice between watching hip hop and another style of dance, I would choose the other style of dance. So, sorry guys. I think there is a time and a place for it, which is great, but I do struggle to sit through it at dance competitions because it just makes me cringe half the time because it's not age appropriate. So, but again, that's my personal opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own. Everyone is entitled to their own. Okay, my last one, and I don't know if you would necessarily class this as an unpopular opinion, but there we go. I do not think dancers should go on point before they are ready, which is really tough to explain to people, because when you are, say, 14 years old and your friend is 14 years old and you're in the same class and she's told she can have pointe shoes and you're told you can't, that is hard to take. But you have to trust your teachers. You should not go on pointe before you are ready to go on pointe. I also believe there should be a minimum age for pointe work. I know at big competitions like Dance World Cup and YGP are doing it now as well, that you cannot go on pointe before a certain age. However, the slight issue I have with that is that teachers are putting their kids on pointe so that they are ready to dance at that age. So for Dance World Cup the minimum age is 12, I think, to go on pointe. Yeah, 12. But then some teachers are putting their kids on pointe at like 10 so that they're ready to compete at 12. No, I do not believe that any 10-year-old should have a pair of pointe shoes anywhere near their feet, and especially not younger than 10. I think 11 or 12, probably 12, is more the minimum age for pointe. I think it'd be quite rare to have an 11-year-old going on pointe. 12 should be the minimum age, but you have to go when you're ready. It doesn't mean as soon as you're 12 you get your pointe shoes. It doesn't work like that. You're an individual, you develop, you grow, you work at a different rate to someone else. You can be identical twins and not be ready to go on pointe at the same time. I am a twin. We're not identical, but I am a twin. You are not the same as anyone else in the world. You will not be ready to go on pointe at the same time as your friends. Right, I hope you enjoyed those, guys, and I hope I haven't offended anyone. Those are just my opinions, like I said, and if you want me to do a part 2, let me know. I'd love to hear what your unpopular opinions are. Let's not spread hate, let's just enjoy what each other have to say. If you disagree with me, just look for the humorous side. Don't come at me. These are just my opinions. I am entitled to my opinions. You're entitled to your opinions. So just enjoy it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment and subscribe. Please let me know what your unpopular opinions are, and I will see you next Saturday. Lots of love, guys. Bye. Just my opinion. I'm very mixed on 6. That was me nearly dropping my phone. Minimum. Let's cut that bit out, okay.